Hello everyone, my name is Brian and welcome back to yet another Smite request. This time I got requested playing Awilix. Awilix is actually a god I'm pretty comfortable with, but it's just a god I don't pick up ever. Reason being, I have no clue. Best reason ever. So, let's go right into this game. They have a lot of damage on the board. As you can see, Awilix, Scylla, Cupid, Thanatos, Chalk, they can all deal a good amount of damage, especially Awilix can deal a huge amount of damage late game, as well as Scylla. And Cupid and Thanatos and Chalk are more of the early game gods. Scylla's asking us to press F for free skin, and I almost immediately realized that, well, you would have used your active, of course. So, no, we're not going to do that. Never. Yoink, my buff. I could have given it to Scylla, but Scylla is more of a late game character, so at this point I think I can deal a lot more damage with it than she can. So that's the reason being I pick it up. Especially with my 2, the Feather Step is just extremely strong on that Awilix. It's definitely some... Actually, is it Awilix or Awilix? Like Shibalanke? Ah crap, I'll just call her Awilix, and if someone is bothered by it, then that's too bad for them. At this point, Chalk doesn't have an awful lot of defense, so I can focus him a bit. He has additional health, seems like. Or because of the fact that he can heal, he's a bit more difficult. The enemy team doesn't have any... Well, actually they do have a few leaps. Very awkward leaps in my opinion to use my ultimate on, but it is definitely possible. You have the teleport from Chalk, which can be altered, and you have the sentinel from the Scylla that can also be used to pull with your ultimate. Both of which are very awkward. Chalk being very fast with it, so you have a very short amount of time, and the Scylla one just being awkward at all. I wanted to alter Chalk, wasn't necessary unfortunately enough, we are getting picked up. I was able to Feather Step for the peel on our Neith, so she survived. And it turned out in our favor with a 2-to-1 tree. 2 assists, definitely not bad. I did a decent amount of damage. I didn't have enough mana for my ultimate when the Chalk was pulled by the Sobek. Sobek is very good with Awilix. His Tail Whip and his block can both trigger a knocked up effect for my ultimate, so definitely very powerful. But in the early game I can't go too aggressive. They do have a lot of damage, and that can be very risky. This time I don't think my team noticed I pulled the Chalk, but I am doing work to him. He is getting away, but as you can see, nice Sobek block and follow up for my team, and we are able to pick him up without any issues. Probably if Chalk throw out... Ooh, that's unfortunate. I probably should have tried to knock up the Awilix instead of trying to root him in place with my second ability. Then Neith maybe have survived, but that's a bit unfortunate. I just had enough mana for one ability. I should have used my 3, even though it did less damage. And that's just for the fact that I could have done a knock-up. And with the knock-up, the Neith probably would have survived. Because Awilix wouldn't have been able to use his second ability to throw that out. And finishing Neith off. Bit of misplay. She paid for it. In the end, Awilix did die as well. So. At this point, Awilix is probably the biggest threat. Not damage-wise, but he's playing very well. As you may or may not have noticed in the loading screen. He was God rank 10 Awilix, so definitely something rough. And he is able to pick up the Neith. I wanted to try and peel for her, but I didn't know he didn't use his 1 yet. So this was a very bad trade for us. 2 of my team went a bit deep. I wanted to peel back for our Neith. Also was not able to. So this trade didn't really turn out in our favor. But you can have those trades. Definitely not too much of an issue. We're about even at this point. I mean, 1 kill doesn't really seals the deal this early on. It can at the end, definitely, because I have a lot of arena matches where it's like less than 20 difference at the end of the game, and those are probably the best ones. I really like them the most. Especially if you are a bit ahead and even though your team is having a rough time, if we are in the end able to pick up a win, it definitely feels just great. There's no better feeling than winning with 1-0 when you're behind by a lot more. And able to pick up all the buffs, so that grants me a lot of gold, enough to finish off one of the most important items on the Awilix, and that is of course the Jotun's cooldown reduction, very powerful on her. Bit of pan, a lot of power. I like the item a lot. I could have gone for a Transcendence on Awilix. It works pretty well on her. I didn't really feel like it this game, especially since they do have a lot of damage. And nice beast from the Cupid, preventing my ult. Awilix does want to fight me when I have my old steroid, and he is going to pay for it by doing that. I am able to pick up the Cupid, and Aegis at the right time, preventing the Chuck Axe, and he is not able to chase me down. I'm able to get away safely. I couldn't have timed that better. Definitely no way I could have timed that in any other way that I would have not survived. And again, very high damage dealing is the enemy Awilix, able to pick up a lot of them, and he's actually going aggressive for our Neath. A bit too aggressive. We are still here. We are able to rotate in time to save our Neath, or at least try and help her finishing off this pesky Awilix. He's playing very well. Awilix is a very interesting guard. He can burst down enemies very quickly. As you can see, kill securing that one. And definitely picking up the kill on the Cupid. Cupid is no match for this fearsome happy lady. I think her voice pack is probably one of the best. I really feel like the woman that spoke it in, the voice actress, really did a great job on it. I've never had a sorry sound so sincere. It's really great. I just like it a lot. I don't know. It's she comes over as a very happy god, and I like that. It's very nice, especially with a lot of gods being so sarcastic. I like them as well. Don't get me wrong, but that can make things difficult. Oh, and Neath getting comboed. And another kill. This time we need to be a bit careful. 10 toes in the air as well. He is able to go down me. Still on my Suku. Sobek, nice pluck. Getting him away from me. Nice peel from our Sobek. And again, nice beats from the enemies. A lot of beats. And I tried to backflip. Well, feather step over him. Wasn't able to do it in time. I didn't pick up beats. I picked up sprint. Maybe not the best idea, but I wanted to deal with. Well, picking up sprint's always great for your team, because that way you can evade a lot. And as you can see, he actually picked up second item, what's it called? Spear of Desolation, which is nuts. That's just insane. We aren't able to get the unit through. A bit unfortunate ult, but it doesn't matter too much. As you can see, our other sprint is activated to prevent the curse. And at this point, he is somewhere. He blinks in. And he did use his escape. So I am going to commit. Nice Aegis and peel from his team. At this point I need to head out myself. We are not able to pick up the Awilix, who is very... well, he's playing very well. He's getting out of a lot of situations. Not all of them, but he definitely picks up a lot of us. Very powerful. Like I said, his positioning is most important, but can be very difficult to deal with. Without a doubt. 10 toes in the air. Definitely not in time to finish off the Neath. I'm staying back a bit, so if he wants to go for me, he has to get in the middle of us. And that way you can just prevent anything from coming out. Interesting thing they changed up about Awilix. I'm not even sure when they changed it. I think it's not too long ago. But as you can see, he doesn't have beats. He is invisible though. Where are you? Oh, wait. Dang it. So hard to deal with sometimes. That invisibility very powerful. There are a few gods that can deal with it very well. And those are the gods that have, you guessed it, tick damage. Because if he gets damaged while he is invisible, it will go away. We don't have any of those. That's a bit unfortunate. There's actually one item that's perfect. And I've had it against me in Assault. That's Mystical Mail. The Mystical Mail is an area effect item that does it around you, dealing a huge amount of damage. I figured out Quang was invisible. I tried to get him. At this point it's a bit too much of a risk to fight, so I am heading away. I'm able to get away. Nice Raijin ultimate, actually able to pick up the Aoquang. Well done on his part. I feel like Raijin is potentially very powerful, but also very squishy. And Thanatos going very deep, missing his ultimate on the Sobek, and that means he will die. He probably should have gone for the Scylla, even though she wasn't in execute range. If he had his 1-up, he would just land on Scylla, use his 1, probably finishes her off immediately. Didn't go for it. Bit out of range. As you saw that there was a little spot I could have hit. And I actually hit the Aoquang by accident. That's the reason why I was auto-attacking in the plain air. I saw him go invisible. And our only low health was the Neath. So if I could pinpoint his location, we were able to pick him up. So that's just great. Beats forced out by the Cupid, so I wasn't able to use my ultimate. Not too bad. If I can get a pluck on him, I am able to pick him up. So that's just something to take into consideration. Always try to look out for those beats if you are a god that relies on it. Again, Aoquang going invisible, trying to find his location, also throwing out that Tutu, but at this point I'm very much aware. And again the beats, I should have not tried to go for him. 3 of them have beats, and the 3 that have are Cupid, Thanatos, and the Scylla. Neath probably should not have charged up that long. If she fired it immediately, maybe she would have been able to pick it up, but she waited too long, and that way she was able to get away. Invisible used by Aoquang, not able to burst down our Raijin in time. Beautiful weakening curse. At this point I am given sprint. I actually use sprint of my own. I see him on my map. I jump just in time, avoiding that Thanatos execute. But he is still able to pick up a lot of our teammates, and that's just rough. At this point I am trying to rotate a bit. Sobek does need to be a bit careful. Oh, beautiful route from the Scylla. Rooting the Chuck. Getting away safely myself. We didn't die, but we were not able to pick up anyone from our team. At this point I'm just rotating. I don't have all my health, but it doesn't matter too much. He is pretty fast. Oh crap, that's the Aoquang. I do need to be a bit careful at this point. And a beautiful healing from my RC prevents the execute range, but fortunately enough, still too much damage on that Aoquang, able to pick me up pretty easily. That's also the reason being why I'll definitely get that Bulwark of Hope. Even though I will be in execute range when it triggers, it will help out against any other thing, so it can definitely help out in that way. I could also have gone for Mantle of Discord. Mantle of Discord also being a very good defensive item that prevents any CCs when you're below 30%. That way, if he gets me below 30%, tries to ult me, I have the CC immunity on my Mantle of Discord. So a bit interesting. I see the Aoquang. I expected his rotation. I missed my 3. I didn't know where he went. It was just a wild guess. If I hit him, he would have died because I would have had my ultimate. I don't think he would have been able to turn around in time to do anything about it. So it's not good going too bad, especially for me. I'm 7-2. Our team is 17-21. We got some minions through, they got some minions through. In the end, we are ahead by a little bit, so that's actually curious. But definitely something I like. And they actually back off for me. I'm able to pick up this buff just freely. And again, trying to focus this Aoquang. I didn't use my ultimate immediately because he had his 1-up. I didn't think I had enough damage to finish him off. At this point I know he doesn't have his defense. And I'm able to pick him up just barely. He didn't use his ultimate. Was not able to. I healed enough from my RC to get him. But unfortunately enough, my team is picked up. Well, not my team. Scylla's picked up. She's having a rough time. Scylla's definitely one of the gods that has a rough time in early game. And can have a rough time in late game if you don't have enough. Anyway, giving the sprint to our Sobek. As so that I did the perfect combination you can do to maximize your damage with your abilities. If you knock someone up with your 3 while you're next to them, you can hit 2 auto attacks before you can use your ult, and then you can still use your ultimate. With your ultimate activated, you have more time. Oh my god, so much damage. I used the Aegis actually to prevent the execute from coming out. So even though the Sobek saved me, if he did not, I was not being executed. I was able to use my Aegis in time. So that is down for the count. But it is something that can prevent the execute from coming out. Definitely something that can help out a lot. The defense did work out. If I didn't have any defense, probably would have been able to burst me down even without his ultimate. Awilix is... Actually, I think he's balanced, but he's just a very difficult god. His potential is so high and he can be very pesky if you're good at it. Same for Awilix though. Awilix is also very powerful. I do think that Awilix late game is a bit worse than Awilix, and that's just for the fact that, well, as you can see, he is picked up. Actually, feather stepped what's called the silence from the chalk. We are able to pick up a lot of them. Huge amount of damage by my team, by myself. We are able to pick up the 4 of them. It all comes down to a bit of unfortunate engage from the enemy Awilix, but they are respawning at this point, so I tell my team to retreat. I hope they can get out safely. It's also the reason being I retreated as well, because I didn't want to deal with a full health team that really wanted to avenge everything. Again, using the Feather Step. Feather Step is a very powerful ability because you can dodge abilities with it. You can dodge almost every single ability. The only 2 abilities that you can't dodge with it are probably dots that are on you already. So that's not really an ability, but also Noir ultimate and Neath ultimate will just continue to deal damage. Something to take consideration, and you can't Feather Step. Awilix ultimate. Tried it a lot for the Smith Busters videos, and at this point Chalk is too tanky. I don't want to use my ultimate on him. I don't think it's really worth it. Unless he is of course too low. I used my 3 to try and go for that, but at this point I'm very low. And again, sprint used. Phanthos in the air. He is actually going for the Scylla. He knows he can't keep up to me with sprint and Suku. I'm just too fast even with that ultimate and his passive. And his greediness. Even though picking up Scylla is punished by him dying as well. You always want to try to punish the enemies if they are going deep for someone. But only to a certain extent. If you die yourself, then it's definitely not worth it. Awilix being somewhere here. He is going for me. Definitely something. Oh crap. Getting wrecked by the enemy team. Well done by him. I should not have fought that. We were a bit outnumbered and Awilix still doing a huge amount of damage. If I can't use my ultimate on him, I don't think I have a lot of kill potential on him. Just because he has more burst than I have, even though I have the Bulwark of Hope. He also picked up Aegis, so that's something to take into consideration. I think it's down then, because I just noticed he had it. But at this point, just defending is what we need to do. Very close, 39 to 25. Beautiful, and again pulling the Chalk. At this point he is a bit too low. Dodging a lot of my abilities. Scylla root picked it up. And Phanthos elected not to go in. As you can see, he has not a lot of health. Scylla goes in aggressive. I'm not sure why she uses her escape. I move forward to try and peel a bit for her, because if they notice her escape is down, as you can see the Awilix does, then we are in a rough situation. And they are able to pick up 2 of us. We are very close at this point, 15 to 6. A very close game. We need 1 kill and 1 minion or 2 kills at this point to finish it off. And we are able to pick up Chalk. Only 1 minion to go. If I was smart, I would have went for the large minion, but I'm just too aggressive. I go for that Phanthos, who is very low as well. They are able to pick up Neath, but we are able to pick up the win. Finishing off that Phanthos, giving us the victory. If someone just finished off the 1 large minion when we had only 1 point left to go, it would have been a lot easier. A lot less risky, because if I wasn't able to pick up the Thanatos and I died as well for my greediness, we had only 5 points left to go. If they were able to pick up 1 more, we would have probably lost. But it was a very close game, so definitely 5 stars in my opinion. It was close. Both teams had some good amount of damage, good amount of team fight, and definitely a lot. So why my build? Simple. I have full cooldown reduction with the breastplate words and the Jotun's Wrath. I went for the Asi for a little bit of attack speed and lifesteal, very powerful, especially with the ultimate activated. The Titan's Bane to deal with the defenses that Phanthos had. Chalk had a lot of defenses. I just wanted to burst them down a bit more. Then when I was in trouble with that Ao Kuang a lot, he started to focus me a lot more. That's when I picked up the Bulwark of Hope, providing me the shield when it was necessary. Good amount of health, good amount of defense. Definitely a good pickup for me. I don't think I could have done anything different this game, other than maybe swapping out my sprint for beads, just to prevent Ao Kuang ult from getting me a few times. If I picked up beads, I would have not been executed a few times. But maybe I would have not gotten away from Thanatos' ultimate because I didn't have sprint. So it's about 50-50 if it would have worked out or not. But in the end, we were able to pick up the win. Still very close game. A very fun game as well. And again, thanks for the request. This was actually the first game I played with Awilix in a long time. And it turned out great. So I'm not sure why I don't pick up more often. But keep on coming with those requests. I really like them. And as always, good luck, have fun, and I'll see you guys in the next one.